Baruch Hashem Shel Yah.
Baruch Yahuwah Yom Yom. Baruch Yahuwah Tamid. Ubaruch Haba Dikra'e HaTorah.
Mulki ani lefanecha yash shenatan lanu et haTorah.
Hallelujah.
Amen. You sisters may be seated. All males rise for the recitation of the Torah. And indeed, we are now hearing the name of the Creator being revealed and explained and broken down in this portion. So it is with great honor that you should be able to be called up this day to speak our language and even to recite the name of Yehovah directly from his own words and his own language. We are in Parashat WaEra, and I appeared to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And indeed, we're going to be reading in chapter 9 of the book of Shemot, of Exodus, chapter 9, starting in verse 14 to the end of the parasha, which will be in the end of chapter 10, verse 35. Again, we will be in the book of Exodus, Sefer Shemot, Perek Tesha, Pasuk Tetwav, Pasuk Chameshisrei, chapter 9, verse 14, and our Hebrew reading will end in chapter 10, verse 35.
Verse 9, 14 to
35. 9, you're right. 14 to 35 of chapter 9, starting at verse 14. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
כי בפעם הזאת אני שולח את כל מגפותיי אל לבך ובעבדיך ובעמך בעבור תדע כי אין כמוני בכל הארץ כי עתה שלחתי את ידי ואח אותך ואת עמך בדבר ותכחד מן הארץ ואולם בעבור זאת העמדתיך בעבור הראותך את כוחי ולמען ספר שמי בכל הארץ. Amen.
For I will this time send my plagues upon thy person, and upon thy servants, and upon thy people, that thou mayest know that there is none like me in all the earth. Surely now I have put forth my hand, and smitten thee and thy people with pestilence, and thou hast been cut off from the earth. But in very deed for this cause have I made thee to stand, to show thee my power, and that my name may be declared throughout all the earth.
Amen.
Holy Manaknula, Sheatahu Eloheinu, Elohe Avotenu, Abraham, Yitzchak, WaEra Leolam Waed.
נקראת אחינו, משרת נתניהו בינינו ובין ישראל.
אני פה, ברוך שם של יהוה.
Baruch Yahovah Yom Yom, Baruch Yahovah Tamid, Ubaruch Haba Likrael HaTorah.
מודה אני לפניך, יהוה אלוהינו, נתן לנו את התורה.
הללויה.
עוד כך, מסתולל בעמי ובלתי שלחם. הנה ממטיר כעת מכה, ברד כבד מאוד, אשר לא היה כמוהו במצרים, למין היום כי וסדה ועד עתה. ואתה שלח העז את מקנך ואת כל אשר לך בשדה, כל האדמה והבהמה אשר ימצא בשדה, ולא יאסף הביתה, וירד עליהם הברד ומתו.
אמן.
As yet exaltest thou thyself against my people, that thou wilt not let them go? Behold, tomorrow. See God. Behold, tomorrow about this time I will cause it to rain a very grievous hail, such as had not been in Egypt since the day it was founded, even until now. Now therefore sin, hasten in thy cattle and all that thou hast in the field, for every man and beast that shall be found in the field, and shall not be brought home, the hail shall come down upon them, and they shall die.
Amen.
Holy Manaknula, Sheatahu Eloheinu, Elohe Avotenu, Abraham, Yitzchak, WaYaakov Leolam Waed.
נקראת אחינו, טייל בינינו ובין ישראל.
אני פה ברוך השם של יהוה.
Baruch Yahovah Yom Yom, Baruch Yahovah Tamid, Ubaruch Haba Likrael HaTorah.
מודה אני לפניך יהוה אלוהינו נתן לנו את התורה.
הללויה.
הירא את דבר יהוה מעבדי פרעה. הניס את עבדיו ואת מקנהו אל הבתים. ואשר לא שם ליבו אל דבר יהוה. ויעזוב את עבדיו ואת מקנהו בשדה. ויאמר יהוה אל משה, נטה את ידך על השמיים, ויהי ורד, וקל ארץ מצרים על האדם ועל הבהמה ועל כל עשב השדה בארץ מצרים.
Amen.
He that feared the word of Jehovah among the servants of Pharaoh made his servants and his cattle flee into the house. And he that regarded not the word of Jehovah left his servants and his cattle in the field. And Jehovah said unto Moses, stretch forth thy hand toward heaven, that there may be hail in all the land of Egypt upon man and upon beast, and upon every herb of the field throughout the land of Egypt.
Amen.
Holy Manaknula, Sheatahu Eloheinu, Elohe Avotenu, Abraham, Yitzchak, WaYaakov Leolam Waed.
נקראת אחינו זבדיאל בן יוסף בן ישראל.
אני פה ברוך השם של יהוה.
Baruch Yahovah Yom Yom, Baruch Yahovah Tamid, Ubaruch Haba Likrael HaTorah.
הללויה.
Vayed Moshe et Matehu al Hashamayim Vayahovah Natan Kolot Uvarad Wati Halak Eish Arta Vayamter Yahovah Barad Al Aretz Mitzrayim Wahi Barad We'esh Mitlak Quatak Mikon Let me start over from 24 again. Wahi Barad We'esh Mit Lakwat Kat 10. Betok Habarad Kaveh Moshe Me'oz Asher Lo Haya Kamohu Bechol Eretz Mitzrayim Me'az Hata Legoy Ya Wayak Torah Habarad Bechol Eretz Mitzrayim 8 Kol Asher Basadeh Me'adam We'ad Dehema We'et Kol Eshev Hasadeh Hika Habarad We'et Kol 8 Hasadeh Shever Sheber.
Hallelujah.
And Moses stretched forth his rod toward heaven, and Jehovah sent thunder and hail and fire ran down unto the earth, and Jehovah caused to hail upon the land of Egypt. So there was hail and fire flashing up amidst the hail, very grievous, such as had not been in all the land of Egypt since it became a nation.
Right.
And the hail smote throughout all the land of Egypt, all that was in the field, both man and beast. And the hail smote every herb of the field, and broke every tree of the field.
Amen.
Modim anaknula she'atahu Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu Avraham Yitzchak ve'Yaakov le'olam va'ed.
כעת הבחור, אהרון בן כהן צדוק בן לוי בן ישראל.
אני פה ברוך השם שלי.
Baruch Yahovah Yom Yom, Baruch Yahovah Tamid, Ubaruch Haba Likra'el HaTorah.
מודה אני לפניך יהוה אלוהינו, נתן לנו התורה.
Hallelujah.
רק בארץ גושן, אשר שם בני ישראל לא היה ברע, וישלח פרעה ויברח למשה ואהרון ויאמר עליהם חטאתי, אברהם יהוה הצדיק ועמי הרשעים. עתירו אל יהוה ורב לחיות כולו אלוהים וברב ואשל חסידתו את כן לא תוסיפם ואמן.
Amen.
Only in the land of Goshen, where the children of Israel were, was there no hail. And Pharaoh sent and called for Moses and Aaron and said unto them, I have sinned this time. Jehovah is righteous, and I and my people are wicked. Entreat Jehovah, and let there be enough of these mighty thunderings and hail, and I will let you go, and you shall stay no longer.
Amen.
Modim anaknula she'atahu Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu Avraham Yitzchak ve'Yaakov le'olam va'ed.
כעת הבחור, נעים בן אח ירמיהו בן נפתלי בן ישראל.
אני פה ברוך השם שלי יהוה.
Baruch Yahovah Yom Yom, Baruch Yahovah Tamid, Ubaruch Haba Likra'el HaTorah.
מודה אני לפניך יהוה אלוהינו, אשר נתן לנו את התורה.
Hallelujah.
ויאמר אליו משה, קציתי את Ha'ir Ev Ros Et Kafai El Yahuwah HaKolot Yehdalun Wahabarad Lo Yeh Old Lama'an Teda Ki La Yahuwah Haaretz Wa'ata Wa'avadecha Yadati Ki Terem Tirun Ne Yehovah Elohim Wahapishta Wahasora Luchata Ki Hasora Aviv Wahapishta Ibu.
Amen.
And Moses said unto him, as soon as I am gone out of the city, I will spread forth my hands unto Jehovah. The thunders shall cease, neither shall there be any more hail, that thou mayest know that the earth is Jehovah's. But as for thee and thy servants, I know that ye will not yet fear Jehovah Elohim. And the flax and the barley were smitten, for the barley was in the ear, and the flax was in bloom.
Amen.
Hallelujah. Modim אנחנו לך, שאתה הוא אלוהינו, ואלוהי אבותינו, אברהם, יצחק, ויעקב לעולם ועד.
נקרא את המפטירה לפרשת WaEra. אחותנו, משיח אשת אק יקריאל בן יהודה בן ישראל.
אני פה, ברוך השם, שלום.
Baruch Yahovah Yom Yom, Baruch Yahovah Tamid, Ubaruch Haba Likra'et Torah. Hallelujah.
Hakita akuseme lo yuku ki afilot hena. Vayetze Moshe me'in paro et ha'ir vayifrosh kapal el Yehovah vayakdelu acholot wahavarad umatar lo mitach atzah vayar paro ki kadal hamatar wahavarad wahapolot Yosef Lakato, Wayak Bed, Livo, Hu, Wa'avada, Wayek Kezak, Le, Paro, Welo, Shila, Et, Bnei Israel, Ka'ashir, Diber, Yehovah, Beyad, Moshe.
Hallelujah.
But the wheat and the spelt were not smitten, for they ripened late.
That's right.
And Moses went out of the city from Pharaoh and spread forth his hands unto Jehovah. And the thunders and the hail ceased, and the rain was not poured upon the earth. And when Pharaoh saw that the rain and the hail and the thunders were ceased, he sinned yet more, and hardened his heart,
Right.
he and his servants. And the heart of Pharaoh was hardened, and he did not let the children of Israel go, as Jehovah had spoken by Moses.
Hallelujah.
Modim אנחנו לך, שאתה הוא אלוהינו, ואלוהי אבותינו, אברהם, יצחק, ויעקב לעולם ועד.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom לך.
Brothers, you may be seated. thanking the Most High for another day, another beautiful Shabbat day. The breath of life is not to be taken lightly, because it's no longer here today, gone tomorrow. It could be here today, gone today. Give the Most High His glory, because He is due all our praises. I also want to thank Him for the life of my niece. She's another year older today. So yeah, Shabbat birthdays are the wonderful. Shabbat birthdays are awesome. Just keeping in mind that we are living in some serious times, and we need to make sure we stay prayed up and actually doing things that make us worthy of the Most High's grace and His mercy. Shabbat WaEra. The Haftarah portion will be found in the book of Ezekiel, the 28th chapter, the 25th verse, to and including the 29th chapter and the 21st verse. Ezekiel chapter 28, verse 25. That's where we will begin. And while you find that, I'm going to give you a little bit of backdrop history on what we're going to be looking at, and Ezekiel in general. Ezekiel is often referred to as the Son Man. He prophesied against Jerusalem earlier on in his prophecies, and then after the destruction of Jerusalem around 586 BCE, Ezekiel turned his attention to the surrounding nations. He prophesied against Ammon to our north, Moab and Edom to our south, and Philistia to our west. And all of that happened in chapter 25, just before we get into this. He also prophesied against Tyre and Sidon, the neighbors to our further north, in chapters 26 to 28. And then leading to where we are now, he starts Egypt's downfall again. Because we know that in a portion, we see the downfall of Egypt. So that's a great correlation to see what happened before in Egypt, and Pharaoh hardened his heart the first time, and he's obviously doing it again because he's doing some wicked things that have the Most High turning his eyes against him and his hand against him. Egypt happens to be to our far southwest, and he continues on with the destruction of Egypt even after the Haftarah portion, going all the way into the 37th chapter. So read before and after, just like you would in school, context clues, so you can really understand what's going on. And all of the nations that I mentioned, where Israel was, they were actually scattered to those nations as well. So we're being scattered in this day and age, but we were scattered before as well. And our current scattered state is not a new concept. So we know that when we look at it, we look at how Dawid, going to him, he was a true and sure servant of the Most High. And because of his faithfulness towards the Most High, we were spared in so many ways, because it always referred back to just that love of David, and knowing that we're always going to have somebody from his house on the throne. Amen. And we look at Psalms 132, as a matter of fact. If you can read Psalm 132. 132 has a great reference of what we also see in the correlation to today's Haftarah portion, and it'll come full circle.
Psalm 132, you said?
King.
A song of ascents. Jehovah, remember unto David all his affliction, how he swore unto Jehovah and vowed unto the mighty one of Jacob, surely I will not come into the tent of my house, nor go up into the bed that is spread for me. I will not give sleep to mine eyes, nor slumber to mine eyelids, until I find out a place for Jehovah, a dwelling place for the mighty one of Jacob. Lo, we heard of it as being in Ephrat. We found it in the field of the wood. Let us go into his dwelling place. Let us worship at his footstool. Arise, O Yah, unto thy resting place, thou and the ark of thy strength. Let thy Cohane be clothed with righteousness, and let thy saints shout for joy for thy servant David's sake. Turn away the face of thine anointed. turn not away the face of thine anointed. Slikah. Jehovah swore unto David in truth, he will not turn back from it. Of the fruit of thy body will I set upon thy throne, if thy children keep my covenant and my testimony that I shall teach them. Their children also forever shall sit upon thy throne. For Jehovah hath chosen Zion. He hath desired it of his habitation. This is my resting place forever. Here will I dwell, for I have desired it. I will abundantly bless her provision. I will give her needy bread in plenty. Her Kohanim also will I clothe with salvation, and her saints shall shout aloud for joy. There will I make a horn to shoot up unto David. There have I ordered a lamp for mine anointed. Mine enemies will I clothe with shame, but upon myself shall his crown shine.
Amen.
We need to begin to shine, brothers and sisters. Let us begin in Ezekiel chapter 28, verse 25.
Thus saith Jehovah Elohim, when I shall have gathered the house of Israel from the peoples among whom they are scattered, and shall be sanctified in them in the sight of the nations, then shall they dwell in their own land, which I gave to my servant Jacob. And they shall dwell safely therein, and shall build houses and plant vineyards. Yea, they shall dwell safely, when I have executed judgments upon all those that have them in disdain, round about them, and they shall know that I am Jehovah, their power.
Not before, not after, only when the Creator says so. Only then will we know his name, right? We're going to understand, and everyone around us is going to understand, because he's revealed his name to us just like he did to Moshe. We kept that going somehow through the grace of the Most High, because if we had forgotten completely through all of the things that we've gone through, where would we be now? But we have to think about it. His timing is perfect. No matter what we want to think it should be or would be, could be, all too often we take leave of our senses. We forget that the Most High is in complete control, and that he's sending us through a redemptive process. It can't just be poof, it happened. It's a flick of the wand like you see on TV and these wizards. It doesn't happen that way. We have to go through the fire, in a sense, to make sure that we understand what it is. So this process has its benefits. We have to experience things, and then we can experience the benefit. And it's basically a premise. We know that the premise is if then, right? A previous statement or proposition from which another is inferred, which means you have to have some previous knowledge, and then you look at the context clues like I was speaking about, and then you can get to the gist of it all. But it's logical. If you do this, then this will happen. And that's for good or bad. If you do wrong, bad will happen. If you do good, good things will happen. But the Most High, he did better than the if then. He said when then. When you do this, because not if, it shouldn't be an if, it should be a when. We are making sure that we bethink ourselves in the lands of our captivity the way we did in Egypt. We cried out to the Most High, and we should be crying out now, because we know that the Most High's word is sure. Tamshi?
Hallelujah.
In the 10th year, in the 10th month, in the 12th day of the month, the word of Jehovah came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and prophesy against him. And against all Egypt speak, and say, Thus saith Jehovah Elohim, Behold, I am against thee, Pharaoh, king of Egypt, the great dragon that lieth in the midst of his rivers, that hath said, My river is mine own, and I have made it for myself.
Oh yeah? He said on the 12th day of Tebet, the Most High is telling Ezekiel to inform that meddling Pharaoh, his name was actually Apries. He was the 26th dynasty, and he also was known as Hophra in Jeremiah 44, if you go read that. So the one who boasts without merit, He's the one that the Most High said, I'm against you. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to be on the Most High's bad side. And Pharaoh, he should have kind of looked at his history to see what was going on back in Moses' time, because Ramesses was doing some of the same crazy things. But if he'd have taken Saul's advice, right, because Saul always tell you, mind your business. If he would have done that, he might have been spared. Instead, here's what he got for meddling in Israelite affairs.
And I will put hooks in thy jaws, and I will cause the fish of thy rivers to stick unto thy scales, and I will bring thee up out of the midst of thy rivers, and all the fish of thy rivers shall stick unto thy scales, and I will cast thee into the wilderness, thee and all the fish of thy rivers. Thou shalt fall upon the open field. Thou shalt not be brought together nor gathered. To the beasts of the earth and to the fowls of the heaven have I given thee for food. And all the inhabitants of Egypt shall know that I am Jehovah, because they have been a staff of reed to the house of Israel. When they take hold of thee with the hand, thou dost break and rend all their shoulders. And when they lean upon thee, thou breakest and makest all their loins to be at a stand. Therefore thus saith Jehovah Elohim, behold, I will bring a sword upon thee, and will cut off from thee man and beast, and the land of Egypt shall be desolate and waste, and they shall know that I am Jehovah.
Yes.
Because he had said, the river is mine, and I have made it.
Oh yeah? He said, you made it? Now, let me show you who really made this and who's really in charge. Who's the real, what they say, boss. The Most High is not playing any games with Pharaoh and his land. So we have to be very, very mindful of who's ruling and leading us and who we're following, because you can be affected by what they do. If I'm the leader of my house and I do something crazy, guess what? Me and all the people that follow me can be affected in a negative way. And just the same, if I'm doing all the things that's right, I could be a blessing and a shield. Even when we fall short, the person who's in charge could be the one who saves us out of all of our troubles because we did something that was right. Tamshi.
Therefore, behold, I am against thee, and against thy rivers, and I will make the land of Egypt utterly waste and desolate, from Migdol to Sien, even unto the border of Ethiopia. No foot of man shall pass through it, nor foot of beast shall pass through it, neither shall it be inhabited 40 years.
He said that's the 40 years that we went through the wilderness. It's like a little bit of payback. All right, we suffered because of our own actions, but so are they. And that 40-year period was like, okay, let's purify and cleanse this out a whole generation or two. Let's make sure it's done. We want this to be better. We tried this once before, and now here we come again. Tamshi.
And I will make the land of Egypt desolate in the midst of the countries that are desolate, and her cities among the cities that are laid waste shall be desolate 40 years. And I will scatter the Egyptians among the nations, and will disperse them through the countries. For thus saith Jehovah Elohim, at the end of 40 years will I gather the Egyptians from the peoples whither they are scattered, and I will turn the captivity of Egypt, and will cause them to return into the land of Patros, into the land of their origin, and they shall be there a lowly kingdom. It shall be the lowliest of the kingdoms. Neither shall it any more lift itself up above the nations, and I will diminish them, that they shall no more rule over the nations.
That'll learn you. If you decide to put your efforts against the Most High,
Right.
the things that can occur and will occur, can't say can, will occur. It might not happen right away, but you see with them, they kept doing whatever they was doing. All the pharaohs of the land of Egypt called themselves God, and they want to boast that they were in charge. And the Most High had to show them. And sometimes that's what happens in life. You have to show people what it truly is.
That's right.
Tamshi.
And it shall be no more the confidence of the house of Israel, bringing iniquity to remembrance when they turn after them. And they shall know that I am Yehovah Elohim.
And I know that was a mouthful. From verses 4 to 16, it was a lot, but it should teach them to mind their business. Pharaoh stopped playing God. You should have learned from Ramesses II. You didn't. But if you really look at verse 16 again, it's like, and it shall be no more the confidence of the house of Israel, bringing iniquity to remembrance when they turn after them, and they shall know that I am Yah Elohim. So he's making sure you know. He's like, I'm the Most High, and I am the confidence of Israel, period. Right? So he said, come on, just look at the Sidrah. We know how Pharaoh pretended to be in charge, but he was like Red and Friday. Yeah, when he come back, I'm gonna ask him to pray for the Most High again. But when he leave, I'm gonna just go ahead and harden my heart again. How does that even work? If you keep getting beat and beat and beat, at some point learn a lesson. Because I know for me, I was like, okay, either when I was young, I got a maca. I don't like this feeling. But you're still doing the stupidity or the foolishness or the making those same mistakes, and no longer is it a mistake, because it's like, okay, you have to be mindful, you have to get yourself aware so you can stop making the same quote unquote mistakes. If you do these things and you entreat the Most High, you have to be sincere and truly follow up with actions and not just words. But what he was doing, it was just a bunch of lip service. And now the Most High had to show them. And so it's an uncanny cockiness that I see of our 45 or your 45, whoever he is. This impending World War III, we'll see who's really the power and the judge and the controller of things, because the Most High, he appeared in the Sidrah the same way that he's appearing in the Haftorah. He's making it the same nowadays. He is the same Most High from Moses' time, from the time of Ezekiel, and till now. So meanwhile, I hope that we shed our stubborn ways and move forward in humility so we don't go down with those who are inevitably going down. And they're going to get humbled like Pharaoh was. It's better to humble yourself than to be humbled. So, time sheet.
And it came to pass in the 27th year, in the first month, in the first day of the month, the word of Yehovah came unto me, saying, Son of man, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, caused his army to serve a great service against Tyre. Every head was made bald, and every shoulder was peeled. Yet had he no wages, nor his army from Tyre, for the service that he had served against it. Therefore thus saith Yehovah Elohim, Behold, I will give the land of Egypt unto Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and he shall carry off her abundance, and take her spoil, and take her prey, and it shall be the wages for his army. I have given him the land of Egypt as his hire for which he served, because they wrought for me, saith Yehovah Elohim. In that day will I cause a horn to shoot up unto the house of Israel, and I will give thee the opening of the mouth in the midst of them, and they shall know that I am Yehovah.
How many times the Most High gotta say it? I am the Most High. I am the power. He's making sure that it's known. But if we fast forward 17 years from that time, he said Ezekiel was still the Son of Man speaking on the Most High's behalf. And he's like, Happy New Year, because guess what? It was the first of Aviv. And he's letting it be known. Yeah, we might be his chosen, peculiar, very peculiar treasure. But all people are his people.
That's right.
And he can do and work through whoever he wants to, whatever nation, to get his point across. And if we fast forward another few millennia, just as he used Egypt to show us his might, he used Babylon, who swooped in all the way from the east. And if you pay attention to the news today, he's at it again. We have to watch our surroundings and know that there's nothing new under the sun. The Most High's hand is in the earth. And at the end of the day, he's proven that he will and always have the juice. At the end, we have to end on a positive note, because the Most High said he's going to redeem us. And we restated from Psalms 132, 16 to 18. Her priests shall also Her priests also will I clothe with salvation. Her holy ones shall shout for joy there, and I will make a horn shoot up unto David. There have I ordered a lamp for mine anointed. His enemies will I clothe with shame, but upon himself shall his crown shine. Our only hope is in God. Please lay it to heart, and remember that the Most High is not waiting on us. Well, we're not waiting on the Most High. He is waiting on us. Shabbat shalom.
Let's keep it going. Hallelujah.
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 Hiya.
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 Very brilliantly delivered, Akhot. And I love how you brought out the timelines of the 17 years of here, getting these messages and seeing that God brought his word back, not even in a whole generation later, just 17 years later, that whole proud empire would just be yet another state in somebody else's chessboard. I thank you also for bringing out the connection with the portion with the devastation that was happening being on the Creator's time in Egypt, just like we're going to see in this portion today. Those of you who went to Egypt, it said it a lot, Horavot in Hebrew. It's the same word you say for ruins. You see a lot of ancient ruins, right? All of these cities of the kings and Karnak and this and that and Giza and things that they enslaved thousands of years of people to build out. And it's just a bunch of sand. Where do you get sand from? Right? We're not on a beach. That's where he's saying, I will desolate this entire thing. Egyptians can't read hieroglyphs. You got to go to university to learn their own language. And it's a forgotten language. It's not spoken of anymore. Their priests are no longer there anymore, right? The Book of the Dead is that's the best they have. It's a book for the dead. That's all that's left. What do you do once you bury people? And that's pretty much their last major book. Not a book of instruction about life. It's just, how do you treat this man when you've already put him in the ground?
Wow.
And he said that is what he prophesied would happen. Is it true?
That's true.
It's the truth. And here we are to this day, reading a language that was as old as the hieroglyphs daily, hearing about our Creator daily. Don't take it lightly. And again, as she brought out, the Creator will bring forth redemption in our time. So may it be in our days that we can see that shoot straight forth.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Muna Nashir Yehovah. Shirat HaTorah.
Return unto thee, for thy word to be fulfilled. In our heart
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
The theme of our portion, let us sing Go Down Moses. It's on page 14 under the Pesach section of our Sidrah. Israel Ready? When Israel was in Egypt's land, let my people go. Oppressed so hard they could not stand. Let my people go. They said, go down, go We give thanks to God for giving us His name, giving us freedom to be able to, as He said in the portion, the ability to open our mouths in His name. And at this time we ask you to sit. We ask Dodai Alicia for tomorrow. Would you be able to read for us the 8th proverb?
Hallelujah. Do not wisdom call, and understanding put forth her voice. In the top of high places by the way, where the paths meet, she standeth. Beside the gates, at the entry of the city, at the coming in at the doors, she crieth aloud. Unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of men. O ye thoughtless, understand prudence, and ye fools be ye of an understanding heart. Slicker. Herefore I will speak excellent things, and the opening of my lips shall be right things. For my mouth shall utter truth, and wickedness is an abomination to my lips. All the words of my mouth are in righteousness. There is nothing perverse or crooked in them. They are all plain to him that understandeth, and right to them that find knowledge. Receive my instruction, and not silver, and knowledge rather than choice gold. For wisdom is better than rubies, and all things desirable are not to be compared unto her. Our wisdom dwell with prudence, and find out knowledge of devices. The fear of Jehovah is to hate evil, pride and arrogancy, and the evil way, and the forward mouth do I hate. Counsel is mine, and sound wisdom. I am understanding, power is mine. Be me kings reign, and princes decree justice. By me princes rule, and nobles, even all the judges of the earth. I love them that love me, and those that seek me earnestly shall find me. Riches and honor are with me, ye enduring riches and righteousness. My fruit is better than gold, than fine gold, and my produce than choice silver. I walk in the way of righteousness, in the midst of the paths of justice, that I may cause those that love me to inherit substance, and that I may fill their treasuries. Jehovah made me as the beginning of his way, the first of his works of old. I was set up from everlasting, from the beginning, wherever the earth was. When there were no depths, I was brought forth, when there were no fountains abounding with water. Before the mountains were settled, before the hills was I brought forth. While as yet he had not made the earth, nor the fields, nor the beginning of the dust of the world. When he established the heavens, I was there, and when he set a circle upon the face of the deep. When he made firm the skies above, when the fountains of the deep showed their might. When he gave the sea his decree, and the waters should not transgress his commandment. When he appointed the foundations of the earth. Then I was by him as a nursling, and I was daily all delight, playing always before him. Playing in his habitable earth, and my delights are with the sons of men. Now therefore, ye children, hearken unto me, for happy are they that keep my ways. Hear instructions and be wise, and refuse it not. Happy is the man that hearkens to me, watching daily at my gates, waiting at the post of my doors. For whoso findeth me findeth life, and obtaineth favor of Jehovah. But he that misseth me wrongeth his own soul. All they that hate me love death. Hallelujah. Shabbat shalom once again. Giving all glory, honor, and praise to the Most High Yah for my life, for the lives of my children, and for us all to be here today. We know that there's just so much going on in the earth. You know, it's a blessing to make it day to day, and especially a great blessing to make it to another Shabbat day. So once again, I'm glad that we are all here. May the Most High be with you all. Hallelujah.
And this time let us all give praise to Yah, 24th Psalm, before we get into our meditation on the portion of the day. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Psalm of the read. The earth is Jehovah's, and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. For he hath founded it upon the seas, and established it upon the floods. Who shall ascend into the mountain of Jehovah, and who shall stand in his holy place? He that hath clean hands and a pure heart, who hath not taken my name in vain, and hath not sworn deceitfully. He shall receive a blessing from Jehovah, and righteousness from the power of his salvation. Such is the generation of them that seek after him, that seek thy face, even thou hosts. Lift up your heads, O ye gates, and be lifted up, ye everlasting doors, that the King of glory may come in. Who is the King of glory? Jehovah strong and mighty, Jehovah mighty in battle. Lift up your heads, O ye gates, yea, lift them up, ye everlasting doors, that the King of glory may come in. Who is the King of glory? Jehovah of hosts, he is the King of glory. Selah. This time I ask you to rise as we even welcome Cohane Tzadoq, but we first give honor and glory to Yah, our creator and maker of all. Thank you, Yah, for Saul, Aaron, the leaders, the elders of Cohane, Meshiyah, and men and women of Israel. Let us say, Hallelujah. 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 Jesus, settle. Please, youth, you're dismissed for your class.
Be seated, everybody. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Blessings and praises unto the Most High, the Creator of all things, the God of our forefathers, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the supreme intellect. There is none higher or greater than he. Peace and blessings unto you all. Thanking Yah for you and your lives, the lives of your loved ones. Thank Yah for his continued protection against all of the craziness that's going on the planet. It is only because of Yah's mercy and the love that he has for our foreparents that we are here on this earth. And so Todah unto the Most High for all of his great works, his great doings. Todah Yah for the breath of life, being able to breathe without any restrictions or without any apparatus connected to our body to have to breathe. Todah Yah for the protection of a home. You know, when Yah makes it rain, it really rains.
Yes.
When he wants it to snow, it snows. I see snow twice a week, even though we see nice sunshine and nice heat. It's snowing in the mountains. And so I thank y'all for keeping me while I drive through those highways and byways. And there's so many things that could happen, but Todah Yah, they haven't. Today's portion is incredible. We're back into Shemot again. So time is moving. And so we want to learn as many lessons as we can in these portions that we read week by week. We're in the 6th chapter of the book of Exodus, beginning at the 2nd chapter, but I'd like to, second verse. But I'd like to start in the 1st verse so we can get a clear understanding on the portion and what Yah has said thus far. And so if we would, Bavakashah, just focus our attention on Exodus, the 6th chapter, 1st verse.
And Yahweh said unto Moses, Now shalt thou see what I will do to Pharaoh, for by a strong hand shall he let them go, and by a strong hand shall he drive them out of his land.
I want to go back to Bereshit, if possible. After you read 2 and 3, you can read 2 and 3.
And Elohim spoke unto Moses and said unto him, I am Yahweh, and I appeared unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob as El Shaddai. But my name Yahweh I made me not known to them.
Yod, He, Wav, He. It's a very peculiar name. There's no other name on the planet Earth or in the universe that has this name.
That's right.
We have an acronym of the name of Yah, but nobody has this name. Some people say Yehovah, some people say Yahuwah, some people say Yahweh, but based on what I see in the Hebrew language, it would be correct to say Yehovah or Yahuwah. Let's go back to Genesis, the 1st chapter, verse 3, and if we can have one of the brothers read it in the Hebrew language, and then we can read it in the English. So Genesis 1 and 3. Morey, do you mind since you got it?
Vayomir Elohim, Yehi Or, Vayhi Or.
Yehi Or. And then what's the rest?
Vayhi Or.
What's the first 2 letters or the first 2 characters in Yehi? Yod, He. When you go to Wayehi, what's in Wayehi? Yod, He. So even from the beginning, when Moshe began to write this and Yahweh exposed him to his name, he didn't say Yahuwah, but he showed him that I'm the one that exists. I'm the eternal. I am forever. And so to begin this portion, I want us to be clear that the Most High is unlimited power. His name is unlimited power. And at the time that Moshe was about to go into Pharaoh, he needed unlimited power. So that everybody would know on the planet, as Yah said, he said in the 6th chapter, in the 1st verse, he said, And Yahweh said unto Moses, Now shalt thou see what I will do to Pharaoh, for by a strong hand shall he let them go, and by a strong hand shall he drive them out of his land. The name Adonai, the name Hashem, all of those were attributes of Yehovah. But when you think of the power, the unlimited power of the Creator is far beyond man's imagination. Let's take, for instance, can you pull up that lightning bolt? Anybody ever experienced electricity? I mean, where it shocked you? Just a little shock? Just a little shock. This is 10 times worse than any electricity. Now, can you see electricity? Absolutely not. And so the Creator, whose power is beyond man's comprehension, you have to have respect for a God that creates something like that. That when you driving on the road, right? You driving on the road and the Creator make a storm come, and in the elements, the heat can change and cause stuff like this to happen. That's the power that we're talking about. This power also can exist in the past. He exists now, and then he also exists in the future. No human being can exist in that form. Also, when you see the word who means what? He. It also means it. So Yehovah is not, we put it in terms of he or she or whatever, but the Creator can't be confined to the form of a he. I want you to really understand what I'm saying. The Most High cannot be conformed to or boxed in to the form of a he, because if you say he, somebody's going to pop up and say, well, why ain't the Most High a she? The Most High is it. Zehu. So he's telling Pharaoh, he told him in the 3rd chapter, he said, Ehye Asher Ehye. The same thing is Yod He Wav He. It's just telling him, I'm going to be something that you never thought would come upside your head. And also in all of this, I'm going to be merciful, because the things I'm going to show you is not as far as I could go. Because I have unlimited power. That's who the Creator is. He is a power who has unlimited power. These little plagues that he's showing Pharaoh, that was something else. But the Creator could have gone further than that to show him who the real king of the universe is. And also, I want us to know that this was the redemption that Yah had for us back then in that time, after Jacob and all of our forefathers passed. But there's a portion in Jeremiah, 23rd chapter, if we can turn there, Babakusha. I just want to impress on your mind this power, Yahweh. He's like no other.
23.
You started
At 1. Woe unto the shepherds that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith Jehovah. Therefore, thus saith Jehovah, the power of Israel against the shepherds that feed my people. Ye have scattered my flock and divided them away, and have not taken care of them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doing, saith Jehovah. And I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all the countries whither I have driven them, and will bring them back to their folds.
So God, if you go down to verse 7.
Therefore, behold, the days come, saith Jehovah, that they shall no more say, as Jehovah liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt, but as Jehovah liveth, that brought up and that led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country, and from all the countries whither I have driven them, and they shall dwell in their own land.
So, even though the Creator redeemed our foreparents from Egypt through these signs and these wonders, that was back then. But the Most High said, even today, and what we going through and what we seeing, I'm going to be the king where you're going to reply and not say, I'm the God of the Egyptian Exodus, but I'm the God of the Exodus today. And so we have to understand that this God is forever. Forever means what? Forever. There's no end to the Creator. Also, I want to make sure that we understand that the name of Yah contains power. So much power, if you go to the book of Exodus, the 20th chapter, and the 7th verse.
7th verse?
Okay.
Thou shalt not take the name of Jehovah thy power in vain, for Jehovah will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain.
The Most High's name is not nothing. His name is more powerful than anything. How do you think the universe came into existence? By Yah's utterance of coming to life, coming to existence. Another important thing to realize is that the Most High doesn't want his name attached to anything. So when we go out there and we do whatever we do, if it's not right, you don't attach the name of Yah to that. The Most High's name is too powerful for us to attach it to anything frivolous. The games that we play, the things that we do that we know are unrighteous. And sometimes we speak in the name of the Creator and act like, well, the power's going to come from heaven once I do this. Well, the Most High is going to look at you and see what you're doing to see whether the power can be used by you or not. Yah's name is powerful. So powerful, Numbers the 6th chapter, beginning at the 24th verse.
6:24. Jehovah bless thee and keep thee.
Not the Lord, not Adonai, not Hashem. Whose name did they use? Yahuwah. That's the name that they use. So it's Yivarecha Yahuwah, not Yivarecha Adonai. Yivarecha Yahuwah. Put my name. And everywhere you see where Jehovah said my name, you're going to see the name Yahuwah. You're not going to see Adonai. You might see Adon Yahuwah, but you'll never see Adonai. That's what our foreparents might have called them, not understanding the great power of the Most High. But now that we know the great name and the great power that the name of Yah possesses, hey, you don't want nobody calling you out your name. So why would the Creator, who's the most magnificent, awesome power, who created the entire universe, would want his name messed up? Now, when you say Jehovah, that's incorrect.
That's right.
See, when you say certain names, it's almost like the genie in the bottle. You don't say the right name, you don't get the power. You don't get the power. And so continue with the blessing. It says, Jehovah bless thee and keep thee.
Jehovah make his face to shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Jehovah lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace.
So shall they put
my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them.
So that's our power, is Yah, the Creator. And not just calling on his name, the way we represent Yah is how we attain that kind of power. And it's understood? Everybody clear on that? That the Most High's name is magnificent and powerful. You just don't want to use it any old kind of way. Let's get back to the portion.
At verse 4. And I have also established my covenant with them to give them the land of Canaan and the land of their sojournings wherein they sojourned. And moreover, I have heard the groaning of the children of Israel, whom the Egyptians keep in bondage.
Well, many people are clear that Jehovah sees what we go through. He knows. He's well aware. And if we keep doing the things that are necessary to get the Most High's attention, there's nothing he won't do for us. And there are things that Yah's continuously doing for us, and we're not even paying attention because we go through daily life. Pay attention and acknowledge what Yah does for you. Again, if you can get on the road, how many people get on the road, any highway, any byway, and there's an accident? And the accident was just right before you got on the highway. The Most High is a power that he looks out for us. And I'm going to tell you something. When you say the Most High is a power that looks out, you know he knows what's going on with Meshiyah, me, Yakario, Uzziah, Yahayafa, all at the same time. He don't have the fridge, okay, I need those glasses, I need these glasses. He knows exactly what's going on with everybody at the same time. What's going on the outside of the world, and we're 7 hours behind the other side of the world. The Creator is well aware and knows what's happening. That's the kind of power we deal with.
And I have remembered my covenant. Wherefore say unto the children of Israel, I am Jehovah, and I will bring you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians, and I will deliver you from their bondage. And I will redeem you with an outstretched arm and with great judgments, and I will take you to me for a people, and I will be to you a power. And ye shall know that I am Jehovah, your power, who brought you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians. And I will bring you in unto the land, concerning which I lifted up my hand to give to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. And I will give it you for a heritage. I am Jehovah.
Another thing about the name of Yahuwah. Can we spell the name of Yah? Yod, He, Wav, He. Yod is the symbol for hand. Hay is the symbol for breath. Wav is the symbol for hook. And then hay again is what? Breath. So the Creator is the one that has all lives in his hand. All lives. Every nation, every people. He is the one that gave everyone this breath. And so there's nobody out of Yah's control. He controls everybody. Every president, every vice president, every priest, every prophet, every leader, anywhere you find them, Yah is in control of them and their breath. He decides whether they wake up or they go to sleep. He decides whether they travel in peace or not. The Creator is the one that controls everything. So again, just another understanding and higher understanding of how deep and how strong this power we serve is.
And Moses spoke so unto the children of Israel. But they hearkened not unto Moses for impatience of spirit and for cruel bondage. And Jehovah spoke unto Moses, saying, Go in, speak unto Pharaoh, king of Egypt, that he let the children of Israel go out of his land. And Moses spoke before Jehovah, saying, Behold, the children of Israel have not hearkened unto me. How then shall Pharaoh hear me, who am of uncircumcised lips? And Jehovah spoke unto Moses and unto Aaron, and gave them a charge unto the children of Israel, and unto Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to bring the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. These are the heads of their fathers' houses, the sons of Reuben, the firstborn of Israel, Hanok, and Palu, Hezron, and Carmi. These are the families of Reuben. And the sons of Shimon, Yemuel, and Yamin, and Ohad, and Yakin, and Zohar, and Shaul, the son of a Canaanitish woman. These are the families of Shimon, and these are the names of the sons of Levi, according to their generations, Gershon, Kohat, and Merari. And the years of the life of Levi were 137 years. The sons of Gershon, Libni, and Shimi, according to their families. And the sons of Kohat, Amram, and Yizhar, Hebron, and Uziel. And the years of the life of Kohat were 133 years. And the sons of Merari, Mali, and Mushi. These are the families of the Levites according to their generations. And Amram took Yocheved, his father's sister, to wife, and she bore him Aharon and Moses. And the years of the life of Amram were 137 years. And the sons of Yizhar, Porak, Nepheg, and Zikri. And the sons of Uziel, Mishael, and Elzaphan, Sitri. And Aaron took him Elisheba, the daughter of Aminadab, the sister of Nachshon, to wife. And she bore him Nadab, and Abihu, Eleazar, and Itamar. And the sons of Porak, Asir, Elkanah, and Abiasaph. These are the families of the Korahites. And Eleazar, Aharon's son, took him one of the daughters of Putiel to wife, and she bore him Pinchas. These are the heads of the fathers' houses of the Levites, according to their families. These are that Aaron and Moses, to whom Jehovah said, Bring out the children of Israel from the land of Egypt according to their hosts.
They went through all of that genealogy just to get to this point, just to make it clear who this Moses and Aaron was that Yah pulled up to be able to do these signs and wonders.
These are they that spoke to Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to bring out the children of Israel from Egypt. These are that Moses and Aharon. And it came to pass on the day when Jehovah spoke unto Moses in the land of Egypt, that Jehovah spoke unto Moses, saying, I am Jehovah, speak thou unto Pharaoh, king of Egypt, all that I speak unto thee. And Moses said before Jehovah, Behold, I am of uncircumcised lips, and how shall Pharaoh hearken unto me? And Jehovah said unto Moses, See, I have set thee in Elohim's stead to Pharaoh, and Aaron thy brother shall be thy prophet. Thou shalt speak all that I command thee, and Aaron thy brother shall speak unto Pharaoh, that he let the children of Israel go out of his land. And I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and will multiply my signs and my wonders in the land of Egypt. But Pharaoh will not hearken unto you, and I will lay my hand upon Egypt and bring forth my host, my people, the children of Israel, out of the land of Egypt by great judgments.
When the Most High said in the beginning part, he said, they translated as, I put you in God's stead. That's not what it says in the Hebrew language. He said, I'm giving you powers to go deal with Pharaoh and with his army and with his guys, his magicians. And I'm going to give Aaron, since you stutter and you have a problem speaking, I'm going to give you Aaron, who's going to speak on your behalf, and y'all work together to make this thing happen. Also, the Creator also said he's going to execute judgments against the gods of Egypt. So we're going to speak about the ancient deities, but some of the things that the Most High is doing right now today.
And the Egyptians shall know that I am Jehovah, when I stretch forth my hand upon Egypt and bring out the children of Israel from among them. And Moses and Aaron did so. As Jehovah commanded them, so did they. And Moses was fourscore years old, and Aaron 83 years old, when they spoke unto Pharaoh.
You know, it says that the Most High said that he would harden Pharaoh's heart. And in the Hebrew it says that he would make his heart heavy, strengthen his heart. So there's some type of negative thoughts or some type of thought that Pharaoh's thinking already that the Most High is going to make it even stronger. Tells me that his ego is in a certain place. Don't forget, Pharaoh is called a god. He's called a deity. And so the Creator said, no, I'm going to show you who the real God is by lowering you, but you're going to have a spirit on you that I'm going to make a lot stronger. So if Jehovah could do that to Pharaoh, what does that mean for us, those of us that have an ego that's out this world? Be mindful and careful that the Creator could put some things on you because he wants to humble your spirit. A lot of times we think, oh, the worst thing is Jehovah could kill you. Oh no, when Jehovah put his hands on you, it could be a lot worse than death.
For real.
And so just think about that thought within itself, that Pharaoh's thinking in a way that Yah is not pleased with. Also, he's making an example out of the kingdom of Egypt. And so Egypt is synonymous with slavery, with captivity. And so what does that mean for America today? Or any other country that has our people as captives? And so we got to consider and think about what is Yah doing all over this earth. Now, if you've been watching the news lately, Jehovah's not just dealing with America only.
That's right.
Creator's dealing with everybody. Now, I don't know if you saw it, but the volcano that erupted in the Philippines, they said there was no loss of life, but that was a serious wake-up call. How about living in Puerto Rico? And within days, not only do you get a 5.9er to shake your, I mean, they just got finished dealing with a whole nother situation that haven't gotten cleared up yet. And now they got to deal with an earthquake, and then boom, a few days later, another one, and boom, another one, and then some more after effects. What about Australia? Would you want to live in Australia right now? And guess what? Think about the magicians. You know, they caught 24 people that helped set those fires in Australia? 24 people. And so, even though Yah did what he did back then, there's some things Jehovah's doing right now today. This, what's this new disease coming out of China? The coronavirus? Everybody got a mask on. They say it comes from them eating animals that they're not supposed to be eating. Don't tell me Chinese. My sister went to China. She said it was hard for her to eat. You asking for chicken. You see dogs running around anyway? They said they're selling wolves out of a particular market. And that's what people were eating. So you go to these different places and they got these things on a stick. You don't know what that stuff is. Just give me some sauce to go with it. No. Certain countries, they eat bugs alive. Put it in the taco, that's good. So again, just understand the day and the time that we're living in. Just because the Most High is not putting it particularly on the U.S. of A., the Creator's putting it all over the planet. So you can run, but you can't hide from God. Let's continue.
And Jehovah spoke unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, when Pharaoh shall speak unto you, saying, show a wonder for you, then thou shalt say unto Aaron, take thy rod and cast it down before Pharaoh, that it become a serpent. And Moses and Aaron went in unto Pharaoh, and they did so, as Jehovah commanded. And Aaron cast down his rod before Pharaoh and before his servants, and it became a serpent.
In that day and time, you had to know some magic. That's just how that worked. You had to know some little tricks to get into the court of Pharaoh. Today, you got to know politics, you got to have money. But back then, you had to come in, you say, oh, let Moses and Aaron in. Who's these guys? They probably looking like shepherds. Come in the court, and he said, thus saith Jehovah. Thus saith who? Thus saith Jehovah. He said, thus saith who? Anybody know Jehovah? I don't know nobody named Jehovah. He said, in this you will know Jehovah. Threw his staff on the ground, it became a snake. Now, I'm like Maurice Shimmerwell. I probably couldn't have held the staff. I might not have been able to be in the room. But once that staff went on the ground, they looked around and said, oh, he coming in with the tricks. Okay. Hey, Eliel, shake. All right, come here, let's talk real quick. Okay, so what we gonna do, everybody? You get your staff. You get your staff. Okay, we got our staff. Boom! Oh, baby! We got snakes too. But then it says,
then Pharaoh called for the wise men and the sorcerers, and they also, the magicians of Egypt, did in like manner with their secret art. For they cast down every man his rod, and they became serpents.
These guys who do magic, they're illusionists. You ever seen a guy with cards? He plays cards and he says, do this, that, and the third. It's all an illusion. It's all a trick. We're not talking about the God of tricks. We're talking about the God of power. And so go ahead, y'all started with y'all little tricks, do a little snaky trick, okay? Then we got a next trick. You know, the other ones was for Moses to convince the children of Israel that he came with the power of Yah. But because they had to work 14 jobs, Moses, we ain't got time for that. We got to get to the next job. And we angry because why did it take the Most High so long to come get us? You know how we complain. You know how far we can go off. And so now, people think that it's just about the magic trick. This is about Jehovah showing his mighty power.
But Aaron's rod swallowed up their rods.
Ain't that something? What would you think if you threw your little snake and he got one snake? There might have been 10 other magicians that got 10 other snakes. You ever seen a snake eat another snake? That's some serious business. And it said he ate all of their snakes up. Not just one, he ate all of them. So what, he put them all in a headlock, killed them, and then ate them? Because snakes eat kind of slow. But now, you figure people say, because we might have been convinced, all right, your God is God. He was like, man, get out of here. That was nothing. Go ahead.
And Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and he hearkened not unto them as Jehovah had spoken. And Jehovah said unto Moses, Pharaoh's heart is stubborn. He refuseth to let the people go. Get thee unto Pharaoh in the morning. Lo, he goeth out unto the water.
Do y'all see y'all's president? Don't he look arrogant? Don't he act arrogant? Every time somebody come up with something, he's always got something to say. And this guy, I think he lives on, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. He lives on that thing. I don't think he sleeps.
He's on the toilet, man.
He's on the what? Think he's got those cucumbers over his eyes, he get his little suntan thing, he's tweeting at the time that he's doing all that. Foolishness. Again, the Most High's hand is on everybody. I'm waiting to see what the outcome of this little trial they got going on, which I believe will be nothing.
Right.
I believe it'll be nothing, but it's interesting to be able, a spectator, to see the hand of the Most High on the whole planet. Let's read.
And thou shalt stand by the river's brink to meet him. And the rod which was turned to a serpent thou shalt take in thy hand. And thou shalt say unto him, Jehovah, the power of the Hebrews, hath sent me unto thee, saying, Let my people go that they may serve me in the wilderness. And behold, hitherto thou hast not hearkened. Thus saith Jehovah, in this shalt thou know that I am Jehovah. Behold, I will smite with the rod that is in my hand upon the waters which are in the river, and they shall be turned to blood. And the fish that are in the river shall die, and the river shall become foul, and the Egyptians shall loathe to drink the water up from the river. And Jehovah said unto Moses, Say unto Aaron, Take thy rod and stretch out thy hand over the waters of Egypt, over their rivers, over their streams, and over their pools, and over all their ponds of water, that they may become blood. And there shall be blood throughout all the land of Egypt, both in vessels of wood and in vessels of stone. And Moses and Aaron did so, as Jehovah commanded. And he lifted up the rod and smote the waters that were in the river, in the sight of Pharaoh, and in the sight of his servants. And all the waters that were in the river were turned to blood.
They say it's recorded that usually Pharaoh would go, because how they would render him as a god was he would have to be out before the sun came up. And there was a certain place he would go and he would raise his hands. And when as the sun came up, it would look like he was holding the sun. And so that's why the Most High told him, go meet him. He would go out there to the Nile River, and he would go do this particular thing. And they was like, oh, Pharaoh's God, he's great. Just a man.
And the fish that were in the river died, and the river became foul, and the Egyptians could not drink water from the river.
Just think about this. Your source of water is gone. It's blood now. Also, the Egyptians depended on fish. They didn't eat livestock like the Hebrews did. They depended on that fish. And so now, if anybody ever passed through New Jersey knows that New Jersey at one point in time used to have a stinky smell. And so think about that when you think of America. People come to America and think that America is the greatest place on the planet Earth, and then they see all of the things that we do day in and day out. They come over here, your food stinks, your food tastes bad. I mean, when you think about visiting other countries and how that food tastes or how the food is grown, we're on a whole nother place when it comes to GMO. America produces the most GMO on the planet. Also, you have companies that come in and buy the land to produce more and more products that will kill you. They say North Carolina is one of the places that grows corn. You ever seen the corn get reaped? And then another crop come right behind that? That's because they're using a grain that is not good for human consumption. Think about this. Another thing. While these Egyptians are conjuring up their magic to make more blood, do you know that right here in this country that they have man-made diseases? Polio was one of the first ones that they conjured up and made themselves, and now it's affecting hundreds of thousands of people. They said that this new flu strand, that the shot that you get is not even going to control that. So what am I getting the shot for? There's so many things that they're doing to just try to depopulate the earth. That's what their goal is in mind, to depopulate the earth. But the Most High's got some things going on this planet that they can't foresee or understand. Wow, this is the hand of God. But one day they will. Just watch how Yehovah does his thing. Tosi.
And the blood was throughout all the land of Egypt, and the magicians of the Egyptians did in like manner with their secret hearts. And Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and he hearkened not unto them as Jehovah had spoken. And Pharaoh turned and went into his house.
Think about it. There go Moses and Aaron, you at home, you in the field working, and all of a sudden all this blood is everywhere, and as soon as you get to drink out your bottled water, the Egyptian magicians start doing their thing, and whoop, got blood in my drink.
Neither did he lay even this to heart. And all the Egyptians digged round about the river for water to drink, for they could not drink of the water of the river. And 7 days were fulfilled. After that, Jehovah had smitten the river. And Jehovah spoke unto Moses, Go in unto Pharaoh and say unto him, Thus saith Jehovah, Let my people go that they may serve me. And if thou refuse to let them go, behold, I will smite all thy borders with frogs. And the river shall swarm with frogs, which shall go up and come into thy house, and into thy bedchamber, and upon thy bed, and into the house of thy servants, and upon thy people, and into thine ovens, and into thy kneading troughs. And the frogs shall come up both upon thee, and upon thy people, and upon all thy servants.
Can we pull up the images of the Egyptian gods, please? Mosai now is attacking the Egyptian deities. And so, in y'all saying I'm the one that exists and caused all things to come into existence, you know, men particularly will make these idols up so that there's no accountability to God. But you're still going to be accountable to God. Now, if you look at these images, some of these images have the faces of animals, bugs, so on and so forth. And so Yah, in particular, is dealing with all of them. So now this one right here, its name is pronounced Kepri. This deity is a female. If you notice, she's actually hovering up over the sun. Some of these deities, the Most High is knocking them out. This is the one for the flies, or for the swarms of flies. You know what that is on his face? A beetle. So, again, the Creator is dealing with them in that fashion. Not only is he making all the frogs come up out of the water, do you know frogs carry disease with them? Salmonella poisoning. Frogs have. And so, a lot of times, people get these different animals and think, oh, you know, they're my little pet. You don't even realize that these animals carry disease with them. You ever seen that? I saw something the other day that was really disturbing me. Somebody poured milk in the mouth of a youth, a young teenager, and then here come the dog and start licking it out of his mouth. You know, on the tongue of a dog, what kind of filth is on the tongue of a dog? A dog licks itself. So people do these foolish pranks, and you don't even realize you just contaminated yourself with a disease an animal has that there's no cure for. Saw something else. A lady she had a snake. Her friend went traveling somewhere, so she said, "Could you keep an eye on my snake?" They kept an eye on her snake. They came to the house a few days later. The snake strangled her. So something just ain't meant to be in your house. Like a snake. Period. Can't even afford a dog, you know, no less you letting him in the house and he got a pillow cushion, he got a room to himself.
That's right.
So Yehovah said, I could do some stuff, man, that you don't even realize what I'm going to do to you. And when it says frogs, you know the species of frogs? How many they are? They are poisonous frogs. All these different things that could happen, and the Most High is in control of all of them. All he got to do is say a little word, blow a little something, boom, they're on to their work. That's why when the Proverbs say, look to the air, because he got a system. He's got a way of dealing. And so again, we get to see the power of the Creator. Don't think this light thing, you know, just a jokey joke. Frog is in the house. No, we talking frogs. You ever seen ants come in your house in the wintertime when it get cold outside? You see a line of them straight in every morning. They cold and they hungry. You ever seen an ant pile? You try to get rid of that and then they move somewhere else. They move all around the yard until they say, man, forget this yard. We go to somebody else's yard. Creator's got an army out there. We don't even know what they're capable of.
And Yahweh said unto Moses, say unto Aaron, stretch forth thy hand with thy rod over the rivers, over the canals, and over the pools, and cause frogs to come up upon the land of Egypt. And Aaron stretched out his hand over the waters of Egypt, and the frogs came up and covered the land of Egypt. And the magicians did in like manner with their secret arts, and brought up frogs upon the land of Egypt.
Now, we already got 1 million frogs here. What we need with another million? Not even that, another 30.
Yeah, right?
You know, it just didn't make any sense. But they trying to prove that, you know, our magic is just as good as yours, Moses. That's why Yahweh's going to, after a certain time, he's going to separate from them.
That's right. And then Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron and said, entreat Yahweh that he take away the frogs from me and from my people, and I will let the people go, that they may sacrifice unto Yahweh. And Moses said unto Pharaoh, have thou this glory over me? Against what time shall I entreat Yahweh? Sidrah, shall I entreat for thee?
This should have really caused him to think that this guy Moses is a special guy. He's got connections with this great power. I should really listen. But the Most High had control over his spirit.
And for thy servants and for thy people, that the frogs be destroyed from thee and thy houses, and remain in the river only. And he said, against tomorrow.
Now, you know, somebody was standing there listening to what he said. He might have gotten killed that night. Because who wants frogs? You want the frogs to die tonight or tomorrow? Because I would have said against tonight. Why am I waiting till tomorrow? You know, I got to deal with these frogs for the rest of the night? No, right now. When should I entreat Rock? Now. We waiting for.
And he said,
you ever heard crickets? There's a certain kind of cricket. I don't know if it's a cricket. I don't know how to describe it. There's crickets in Guyana that they sound like they're right in your room. You know, and so when they cricket, it's like they right there on the pillow with you. Even the frogs in Guyana, I was like, what is that? It's like almost being in the jungle, so you hear something. What was that? So I don't want to have to deal with these things anymore. So see.
And he said, be it according to thy word, that thou mayest know that there is none like unto Yahweh our power. And the frogs shall depart from thee, and from thy houses, and from thy servants, and from thy people. They shall remain in the river only. And Moses and Aaron went out from Pharaoh, and Moses cried unto Yahweh concerning the frogs, which he had brought upon Pharaoh. And Yahweh did according to the word of Moses, and the frogs died out of the houses, out of the courts, and out of the fields. And they gathered them together in heaps, and the land stank. But when Pharaoh saw that there was respite, he hardened his heart and hearkened not unto them, as Yahweh had spoken. And Yahweh said unto Moses, say unto Aaron, stretch out thy rod and smite the dust of the earth, that it may become gnats throughout all the land of Egypt. And that
anybody ever experienced a gnat? Or even lice? They're very small. You hear them fly, but you can barely see them. You ever have a fly go up your nose? That's not, that ain't, but now you're talking swarms of them. Swarms of these different things. These animals carry a disease called diarrhea, chloria, and eye infections. If they get in your eye, they can cause an infection in the eye. And so just knowing that they have their place out there. That's where they're supposed to be, out there. Even the Creator, when he said, when you go on the lane, he said, be careful not to do certain things because the animals will overtake you. He said, the Creator knows, so we got to pay attention and listen. It's just, the Most High wasn't just trying to hit them, you know, physically. He's hitting them all kinds of ways because their psyche, their understanding of the Creator has to change. Because you're worshiping something like, can you go back to the footage, please? You look worshiping something that looks like a dog. It's got the body of a man. Now think about this. Think about that when we think about our horoscopes. Anybody that's born in the month of December is called a what? A Sagittarius. You're a half man and a half horse. Did y'all know that? Yeah. And so I'm proud to be a Sagittarius. So you're half horse and half man. So just look at these images. Some of them have certain faces, facial expressions, but what's this? This looks like an anteater, right? So there has certain different gods. That's a dog right there, straight up. It's a dog. And so the Creator's saying, oh, okay, this is what you want to worship, and I'm going to make sure that you understand that there's a God greater than what you think. I'm not a man. That's why you can't relegate and say that the Most High is a he or a she. He's greater than that. He's greater than that. So don't never equate the Creator. And this is why it's so important that your Most High said, don't even have images in your head of me. Because I'm greater than that. These people were some of the greatest people on the planet. Some of the things that they've done still exist to this day. But they didn't get the common concept that God is not a man, nor the son of man that he should lie, nor the head of a donkey on a man. Creator ain't none of that. None of that. So as a child, a lot of times we ask the questions, well, who is the Most High and what does he look like? He has no form. None of this could be the Creator. He made all of that. So why would he make himself look like what he created? All you gotta do is put a dog in a headlock, you can kill it. How you gonna put your hands around God? You can't see him. First you gotta find him. The Creator could use the wind to chase you around. Anybody ever got chased by the wind? Being in New York City, I used to get so cold and that wind be whipping, you be running, running sideways. Creator ain't nobody to play with. So that's why it's so important to understand that the Most High is greater than all of these different plagues and things. He called them to come do his job. I want you to, he didn't even have to appear. Y'all go take care of that. I mean the flies. Anything that fly, I want y'all to go take care of that. My host, that's another one of my hosts. That's why he's called Yehovah Tzadoq. He's Yehovah of the hosts, of all of the hosts. See, when you become a young man or a young woman and you want to get older, you're going to want to know how to deal with this God Yehovah. And when you call on him, you want the Creator, when you're in trouble, you want the Creator to be there. Like King David said, when I called, you came, you was there. And if Yehovah don't show up, but he give you the answer, take the answer and respect the Creator who gave it to you. Our God is awesome. And notice this, he's not just our God. He's the God of the whole universe. Can you go to that thing, Babakasha, the universe? I want to show you something real quick. This thing brought something to my mind. I was like, this is incredible. Anybody use a navigational system to go places?
Which slide?
The universe. It has the arrow pointing. Check your excuse me. Give me a minute. I think I sent it to you in email. Do you know that we live in a I don't even want to know what to call it. Because they say there's more than one galaxy. We're only one galaxy within the whole entire universe. Now, we can't just box Jehovah to being the God of this planet. Because if he created the entire universe, is that what we understand and believe? That the God that we sing Adon Olam, he created the entire universe. And so to box him in just to being the God of just this planet, he's far greater than that. And guess what? As we're just figuring out the different planets in our galaxy, the Creator's still creating. That's how powerful he is. Jessica? Okay, we'll move on. When you get it, we'll come back to it. Let's read.
And they did so. And Aaron stretched out his hand with his rod and smote the dust of the earth. And there were gnats upon man and upon beast. All the dust of the earth became gnats throughout all the land of Egypt. And the magicians did so with their secret arts to bring forth gnats, but they could not.
Now, wait a second. Was anybody thinking? Because, hey, Moses do a little tricky poo, and then somebody else come back and they want to do the same thing, and you already doing this? Let's go back to that point I wanted to make. So, they say this is the universe. You are here. You are here. That very small dot is where we are. Now, when you think of life in the scheme of things, we're nothing. We're nothing. That's why the best thing that we can do is follow this Creator to the hill. Follow everything that he says, because look at that. Look at that whole universe, and it says, and you are here. The power that this Creator has is awesome. Let's read.
And the magicians did so with their secret arts to bring forth gnats, but they could not.
I'm going to tell you something about even witchcraft. You know, even in witchcraft, they use Yod-Hey, Wav-Hey. They will utilize the name of Yehovah because they know that the Creator's name has power. And so here these guys, these Egyptians, still trying to do their little trick. And the Creator showed them, you can't do what I do. I'm greater than you. So we're going to put a stop to this right now. That's as far as you can go. And now the Egyptians understand and know, which people on this planet are going to find out, that the Most High is greater than we could even ever imagine. He said, this is the finger of God. And the Pharaoh's heart was still hardened. He didn't care.
And there were gnats upon man and upon beast. Then the magician said unto Pharaoh, this is the finger of Elohim. And Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and he hearkened not unto them as Jehovah had spoken. And Jehovah said unto Moses, rise up early in the morning and stand before Pharaoh. Lo, he cometh forth to the water. And say unto him, thus saith Jehovah, let my people go that they may serve me. Else if thou wilt not let my people go, behold, I will send swarms of flies upon thee, and upon thy servants, and upon thy people, and into thy houses. And the houses of the Egyptians shall be full of swarms of flies, and also the ground whereon they are.
Not just flies, but anything that can fly. So you got a variation of different types of flying animals coming into your house. Now, I don't know about you. Anybody ever seen the fly catcher? The one that hangs from the ceiling, spirals down the sticky tape? That's disgusting. Y'all ever watch flies? You ever watch Sidrah? You ever watch the dung beetle? Remember the beetle was the guy, the one that one of those deities had on. You know, the dung beetle actually moves Zohar.
Yeah.
They push Zohar. They actually lay eggs in the Zohar to make more beetles. So the Creator's saying, really, y'all gonna worship and serve something that, you know what I mean, rolls their own Zohar? You know, and seriously, if you really watch a dung beetle, they serious. They get a piece of Zohar and they roll until they get back to the nest. Just showing you that some of the things that people do on this planet just don't make sense.
And I will set apart in that day the land of Goshen in which my people dwell, that no swarms of flies shall be there, to the end that thou mayest know that I am Yahweh in the midst of the earth.
Amen.
And I will put a division between my people and thy people. By tomorrow shall this sign be.
I'm so thankful to the God that we have for his protection, for giving us certain understandings and things, because even here, you know, you get ill, you know, you got to go see the Rofe, you got to go see the doctor, you got to pray that you got a good doctor that's not going to give you something that's going to kill you. I know a brother who went in, he had a cold, they gave him a flu shot, in a few hours he was dead.
Wow.
Didn't even know that he was allergic to whatever they had in this shot. And just because they say they got a shot, you don't know what's in it. You need to investigate. So don't leave yourself into the hands of these people that will just do whatever they feel like doing. We got to be mindful and give honor and praise to the King that he looks out for us when he does.
And Jehovah did so. And there came grievous swarms of flies into the house of Pharaoh and into his servants' houses, and in all the land of Egypt the land was ruined by reason of the swarms of flies. And Pharaoh called for Moses and for Aaron and said, Go ye, sacrifice to your power in the land. And Moses said, It is not meet so to do, for we shall sacrifice the abomination of the Egyptians to Jehovah our power.
Pharaoh's still thinking he got the power to make the changes. He's saying, oh yeah, y'all could just do it right here. And he said, no, we got to go where the Creator sends us to go. You can't now make the rules for what we need to do. We got to follow the Creator. We're not following you.
No, if we sacrifice the abomination of the Egyptians before their eyes, will they not stone us? We will go 3 days' journey into the wilderness and sacrifice to Jehovah our power, as he shall command us. And Pharaoh said, I will let you go, that ye may sacrifice to Jehovah your power in the wilderness. Only ye shall not go very far away. Entreat for me. And Moses said, Behold, I go out from thee, and I will entreat Jehovah that the swarm of flies may depart from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people tomorrow. Only let not Pharaoh deal deceitfully anymore in not letting the people go to sacrifice to Jehovah. And Moses went out from Pharaoh and entreated Jehovah. And Jehovah did according to the word of Moses. And he removed the swarms of flies from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people. There remained not one. And Pharaoh hardened his heart this time also. And he did not let the people go. Then Jehovah said unto Moses, Go in unto Pharaoh, and tell him, Thus saith Jehovah, the power of the Hebrews, Let my people go that they may serve me. For if thou refuse to let them go, and will hold them still, behold, the hand of Jehovah is upon thy cattle, which are in the field, upon the horses, upon the asses, upon the camels, and upon the herds, and upon the flocks. There shall be a very grievous murrain.
In other words, when some of the sicknesses and illnesses that animals can get, like unto foot and mouth disease.
Hoof and mouth. Hoof and mouth.
Hoof and mouth. What did I say? Hoof and mouth?
Foot and mouth.
Oh, that's a
And Jehovah shall make a division between the cattle of Israel and the cattle of Egypt. And and there shall nothing die of all that belongeth to the children of Israel.
Yeah.
And Jehovah appointed a set time, saying, tomorrow Jehovah shall do this thing in the land. And Jehovah did that thing on the morrow, and all the cattle of Egypt died. But of the cattle of the children of Israel died not one. And Pharaoh sent, and behold, there was not so much as one of the cattle of the Israelites dead. But the heart of Pharaoh was stubborn, and he did not let the people go. And Jehovah said unto Moses and unto Aaron, take to you handfuls of soot of the furnace, and let Moses throw it heavenward in the sight of Pharaoh, and it shall become small dust over all the land of Egypt, and shall be a boil breaking forth with flames upon man and upon beast throughout all the land of Egypt. And they took the soot of the furnace and stood before Pharaoh, and Moses threw it up heavenward, and it became a boil breaking forth with flames upon man and upon beast. And the magicians could not stand before Moses because of the boils, for the boils were upon the magicians and upon all the Egyptians. And Jehovah hardened the heart of Pharaoh, and he hearkened not unto them, as Jehovah had spoken unto Moses. And Jehovah said unto Moses, rise up early in the morning, and stand before Pharaoh, and say unto him, thus saith Jehovah, the power of the Hebrews, let my people go that they may serve me. For I will this time send all my plagues upon thy person, and upon thy servants, and upon thy people, that thou mayest know that there is none like me in all the earth. Surely now I have put forth my hand, and smitten thee and thy people with pestilence, and thou hast been cut off from the earth. But in very deed for this cause have I made thee to stand, to show thee my power, and that my name may be declared throughout all the earth. As yet exaltest thou thyself against my people, that thou wilt not let them go? Behold, tomorrow about this time I will cause it to rain a very grievous hail, such as hath not been in Egypt since the day it was founded even until now. Now therefore send, and hasten in thy cattle, and all that thou hast in the field, for every man and beast that shall be found in the field, and shall not be brought home, the hail shall come down upon them, and they shall die. He that feared the word of Jehovah among the servants of Pharaoh made his servants and his cattle flee into the house.
If they were watching these plagues, they got smart. They got smart enough to know and say, you know what, I respect the God of Moses. Go get our sheep and our cows and bring them in the house. Other people might have said, you know, he just still doing magic tricks. The Egyptians, the magicians are just sick. No. You got to use your brain. Be smart and understand that the Creator's doing all of this stuff.
And he that regarded not the word of Jehovah left his servants and his cattle in the field. And Jehovah said unto Moses, stretch forth thy hand toward heaven, and that there may be hail in all the land of Egypt, upon man and upon beast, and upon every herb of the field, throughout the land of Egypt. And Moses stretched forth his rod toward heaven, and Jehovah sent thunder and hail, and fire ran down unto the earth.
Isn't hail like frozen ice balls? So in the midst of these frozen ice balls, the Creator's actually got fire coming too. Something else to watch and behold. So see.
And Jehovah caused to hail upon the land of Egypt. So there was hail, and fire flashing up amidst the hail, very grievous, such as had not been in all the land of Egypt since it became a nation. And the hail smote throughout all the land of Egypt, all that was in the field, both man and beast. And the hail smote every herb of the field. and broke every tree of the field. Only in the land of Goshen, where the children of Israel were, was there no hail.
Hallelujah.
And Pharaoh sent and called for Moses and Aaron and said unto them, I have sinned this time.
Oh, you think?
Yahweh is righteous, and I and my people are wicked. Entreat Yahweh, and let there be enough of these mighty thunderings and hail, and I will let you go, and ye shall stay no longer.
You know that Jehovah has a way of getting to you that men can't get. They can't figure out a way. You ever heard lightning so bad it made you stop in your track? Anybody ever experienced hail? Ain't nobody's joking. And y'all's doing this all over the planet. I don't care what kind of heat you got. You figure, well, that can't happen here. Watch this. What? He said, oh, we got hail in Guyana, you think? Talking about the creator of the whole earth. He don't care about the weather. He controls the weather. He makes that. No matter where we go on this planet, if y'all want to do something, guess what he gonna do? He gonna do what he want to do. And he don't have to ask nobody for their permission. Or Shema, you think I could not? And if he does, it's out of respect for you. God says, I can respect you. And he said, told Moses, let it be at your word. Whenever you're ready for it. Why are you coming back to me? You got the power. Do it. So Moses had the power and he did it. So again, the relationship that we have with Yah, we could call fire from heaven or we could have peace on this planet. Whatever we decide to do. But we got to be able to stand behind Yah and all that he requires of us. That's how we get to be able to move on this planet, by giving Yah his due respect. We don't respect Yah, guess what? Jehovah said, I will not have respect for you. Here, take some of this hail in your house. My father sent me a picture this week of snow they got in Canada. Open up the front door, the whole front door is covered with snow. So you saying I can't get out my house? No. And they figure it out. They figure out how to move in that stuff. Told her, yeah, we don't have to deal with that. I'm telling you, there's sometimes it be 60, 70 degrees right here in Charlotte. You go up that mountain, that weather changes. Just like that.
And Moses said unto him, as soon as I am gone out of the city, I will spread forth my hands unto Yahweh. The thunders shall cease, neither shall there be any more hail, that thou mayest know that the earth is Yahweh.
The earth is what?
The earth is Yahweh.
The earth belongs to Yahweh.
But as for thee and thy servants, I know that ye will not yet fear Yahweh Elohim. And the flax and the barley were smitten, for the barley was in the ear, and the flax was in bloom. But the wheat and the spelt were not smitten, for they ripened late.
This is so important because this is right before the Most High tells the children of Israel to get the lambs for the Passover. So that means that we were getting close to the end of this particular month, the 12th month. But Yah said in Mitzrayim that this particular month, Abib, would be the beginning of the month or the beginning of the year for you. So it's telling you that the flax and the barley was smitten by what? By the hail. For the barley was in ear. That's not what it says in the Hebrew. It says the barley was Abib. In other words, it's at a certain stage of its growth. And this barley has to be used for a particular offering during the Passover season. And so that's why it is a key indicator for us to know that the holy season and the year is about to change. When you look at a barley plant and it's too cold, it will stop its growth. And if it's not in the proper season, it will not grow. And so that's why we look at this agricultural phenomenon so that we're clear that we're going into the right season. It's not just about the plant. We're talking about the weather. We're talking about things that happen with animals. There's so much that happens, but this is one of the clear things that we do to make sure that we're in the month of Abib. We're not like the Muslims. The Muslims can keep Ramadan all year round. That's not us. We don't keep Passover in the winter months. We keep it at the right season. We don't even look at the equinox. Even though the equinox may be a sign, that's not what we're looking for. We can't see the equinox, but we can see where the barley is and what stage it's in. And that will determine whether we're in Abib or not.
But the wheat and the spelt were not smitten, for they ripened late. And Moses went out of the city from Pharaoh and spread forth his hands unto Jehovah, and the thunders and hail ceased, and the rain was not poured upon the earth. And when Pharaoh saw that the rain and the hail and the thunders were ceased, he sinned yet more, and hardened his heart, he and his servants. And the heart of Pharaoh was hardened, and he did not let the children of Israel go, as Jehovah had spoken by Moses.
Hallelujah. Just again, remember that the name of Yahuwah is unlimited power. And I mean unlimited power. We should not just use the name of the Most High haphazardly. Remember, the Most High said that you should not take his name in vain. His name is far more powerful than our frivolous things that we do amongst each other day by day. And just understand that this same power, Yahuwah, existed in the days of Moses. He's the same power that we have today. Just because we got technology and we move forward as humans, the Most High is the one that gave us that understanding to create some of these things. And so he can use them against us, or he can use them for us. But we have to understand and know that Yahuwah is the ultimate power in this universe. There is none. That's why he said there's none beside me. I created all this by myself. And so we give honor and thanks unto Yahuwah for who he is and for what he's done, not only for our foreparents, but for us in this modern day and time. May he always be praised. And I want to make something very clear. There are people on this planet that don't subscribe by the name of Israel that praise Yah. One day the whole planet is going to say, Todah Yahuwah. One day, every knee will bow and every tongue will swear by the name of Yahuwah. Jesus will be forgotten. And any other idol that man has made up in his lifetime will be forgotten. So it's on us. We've been scattered to the four corners of the earth for a reason. It was to beat your behind, but it's also to turn the whole planet over to Yah. And we can't do it just from Jerusalem. Has to be done in the four corners of the earth. And so anytime we get a chance to honor and praise Yah, and I'm going to tell you something, the word avodah is not only for work, but it's the word for worship too. How you worship and honor your Creator is by everything that he's commanded us, the deeds. Look, we can't walk away from this. You're bound by this, by the blood. I don't mean about the blood of JC. I'm talking about the blood of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, their commitment to this power. And so even when Moses said it in Nitzavim, he said, you are all here standing, even the ones that's not here. Everybody is obligated. We got to draw closer to Yehovah and draw people to Yehovah. Anybody watching this Netflix thing called The Messiah? Check it out. Check it out. People think the this Messiah thing is about one individual. The Meshiyah comes from two lines, Melech Dawid and the Cohane, or actually the sons of Aharon. But there is a Messianic people, and that is you and I.
Anointed people.
We have to stand up for Yah, from the youngest of us to the oldest of us. And I can guarantee you, Yah will make things happen that you never thought could happen. Let's stay aligned with Yah and know that he is our salvation. There is no man that can save you. Let's make that clear. I don't care if you call him Jesus or Yeshua or Yahushua. Yehovah is far greater than any man.
That's right.
And I appreciate the fact that he didn't put a man in charge. Not on that level. Yehovah's king, he's great. And Todayah for him. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. A song real quick. I just want to thank Jehovah for his goodness, his mercy. Somebody said thy word. That sounds good to me. Let my cry come here before thee. Teach me of thy word. May my supplication find thee. Teach me of thy word. Let my lips utter thy praise. For thy Lord is here before me. Keep thy hand ready to help me. I've chosen thy word. I have longed for thy salvation. My delight is in thy word. Let my soul live, and it shall praise thee. Let thine ordinances save me. I'm on a stray. Oh, Yah, please find me and teach me of thy word. Yevareka Yahuwah Vayishmareka. Ya'ir Yahuwah Panawalecha Wikulecha. Yisa Yahuwah Panawalecha Vayasim Lecha. Shalom. Yehovah bless thee, keep thee. Yehovah cause his face to shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Yehovah lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Just coincidentally, Chaya was in today's portion, where it says, as I live, saith Yehovah. You look at the terms in the Hebrew, you see it says Chaya. Shabbat Shalom Lakem. Shabbat Shalom.